Our second packet is equations and inequalities. If you guys open your packet up and you look behind that cover sheet, there's a, just kind of like a overview of how to solve all of the equations that we've looked at this year, right? Everything from quadratics to powers, right? Absolute value. So that's just a guide for you to refer to, all right? So start with number 1. So here are some things you should know. Absolute value, remember, get the absolute value all by itself, right? And then you drop the bars and you write it twice, okay? Remember, to get the absolute value, you have to go to math, number, abs. Yeah? They put number 1, but is this, right? Abs. Okay? Same thing. All right, so let's look at number 1. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you some calculator tricks. Okay? Number 1, which of the following represents the solution to the absolute value of 7? Yeah. D. Anyone else get D?
I mean, yes, D shouldn't be D.
It should be. Yeah, you're right. It should be because absolute value of 7, well, that means you have x equals 7.
X
and
negative 7.
Perfect. There you go. It's D for that one. Good. And then let's look at number 2. So number 2, which inequality describes the solution set graphed? All right. So, did I ever show you guys how to put these inequalities into your calculator?
I don't remember.
Yeah. So, take a look at your answer choices, right? One of those answer choices is going to be this graph. All right, so tell me what you got for this. Or if you just had to guess, because you're like, you know what? I don't know. I didn't even know where to start. What? You said D. All right. So here's what you can do. You know that answer choice for D, this one? We can put it into the calculator, and we can see if our calculator gives us this graph. Okay? Ready? You're going to go to your calculator. You're going to put in choice D, -2, absolute value, math, number, abs, 6x minus 1 plus 5 greater than 3. Greater than is second math. Second math, right? And then you see greater than, and put in 3. Yes? Right? What happened? What happened, Tom?
It's like a straight line.
So when you graph this, so my calculator is a little bit weird because it gives me everything. The only thing I'm looking at is this one on top. Is that what yours looks like? Is it this tiny little dot of a line? Yeah. So does that look like your graph in your problem? Does it look like this? No, it doesn't. So D is out. It is. You can do a lot in the calculator. So let's try another one then. So now we have it down to A, B, and C. Which one do you think?
B.
B? B?
No, I'm just guessing this.
It's fine. Then let's try B. So you guys try it. Math, number, abs, 4x minus 1 plus 7 greater than 2. Right? We're guessing B now. We're going to put that in the calculator. So my little dot just got a little bit longer. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't look like that one. So no, that one's not it. Okay. B's out. So, which one now?
Let's try.
C?
Yeah.
Alright, let's try C. Right?
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. Perfect. This is the one that I want. You see how, right? It's an OR graph, first of all. And it's between 0 and, what is that, like a quarter, right? 0.25. So that one's C. Yes? Okay. Try number 3. What is the solution to this? First of all, look at your answer choices. A and B. Do you see the word or? No. So those two are ands. C and D. You see the word or, right?
Yeah.
Remember, we used our thumbs to kind of see what our graphs will look like, right? And they go in, they touch, right? Or means they go out, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to see if this is an and or an or, you could plug this into your calculator and graph it. Let's try that. Right? So what kind of a graph is this? And or nor?
Uh,
You can look on your calculator. Mine is just the one up here, right?
or.
Is it
Up.
going
It's
out?
up.
Is it going out?
It's,
Look on yours. Is it just a little bar, or do you have lines that keep going straight to the left or to the right? Do you have lines that way? So do you have 3 lines like mine? No. Okay, go back and look at your equation. Did you put less than or greater than? Right? So here's the thing. My calculator looks like this, but
mine just does. It might just have a dash on it.
yeah, like this is what it should look like. Mine just shows everything.
Yeah.
It's just this, right?
Yeah.
Is that going out? Like, is this an or is this an and?
And.
It's an and, right?
Yeah.
So this is and. C and D are out because those two say or. Does that make sense? Now look at your graph. Let's see what makes sense. Is it between -1/2 and 7/2? What is 7/2 as a decimal anyway?
7/2.
Yeah, but what is it as a decimal? Put in 7/2. What do you get as a decimal? 3.5. So from -0.5 to 3.5, is that what this is?
Mm.
Your graph?
It looks like it.
It does look like it. What's my other option?
-7 has 7/2.
-3.5 to 3.5?
No.
No, that one's not it, right? So your
Yeah.
answer choice has to be A, right? From -1/2 to 3.5. Or 0.5 to 3.5. Yes?
Yep.
So look at number 4. It says, which inequality describes the solution set graph? Okay, so you're looking at A, B, C, and D. Which one of those looks like this graph? Hmm. First of all, this is an AND graph, right?
Mhm.
All right, so remember the thing, if you get your absolute value all by itself, if you have a less than, then this is a less than and, right? If you have a greater than, then this is a great or, right? So that gives me a hint. Maybe I need to look at less than, yeah? And if you look at A. You see how you have a greater than or equal? And D, you have less than or equal, right? But if you look at B, less than, and C, greater than, they're different inequalities. Some of them have an equals and some of them don't, right?
Mhm.
How does that change it when you graph? What do you have to do with the circles in the less than or equal? Yeah.
Do the shading on every.
Yeah. You have to shade it. It's either a closed circle or an open circle, right?
Yeah.
Look at your graph. Is your graph a closed circle or an open circle?
Open.
It's open. So which ones can I cross out here?
Greater than equal to.
Yeah, A, and which one?
D.
D. All right, so that's another thing you should look for. Is it an open circle? Is it a closed circle, right?
Mhm.
So then now what I can do is I could plug in B or C into the calculator, see which one looks like it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's try that. Which one are you guys plugging in?
I'm plugging in
Huh?
A. A.
A?
I'm not A.
Not A.
Yeah, let me see.
All right, so Tim is gonna plug in C. Abner, which one are you plugging in?
Do A. No, I'll do C.
All right.
C doesn't look correct.
It doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
Hmm. All right, so I put in both.
Yeah. Ready, think it's gone.
All right, so if you put in C, your graph looks like this.
Yeah.
Ah, is that what your graph looks like? No, because your graph here for C is an or,
Or yeah.
right? So what if I put in, that's the one that I wanted, shoot. All right, so what if I put in B? Does it look like it? Put in B. Does it look like it? Yeah. So this one, answer is B. Oh no, B here. Oh my goodness, what is happening? Okay. All right. So number 5, I'm going to show you the algebraic way, but you can also put this into the calculator too. All right. So just to review, what is the solution set for the absolute value of 2x plus 5 equals 7? Do we have the absolute value bars all by itself?
Mhm.
Yes.
You
So
drop them
now,
down.
yep, drop the bars, write it twice. First one looks exactly the same, right? 2x plus 5 equals 7.
Yeah.
What about the second one?
It's negative.
Negative what?
7.
Good. And you can just solve it, right?
Yeah.
So minus the 5, and so on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you another way to plug this into the calculator, okay? Especially if you get multiple choice problems. So if I look at all my answer choices, right? If you look, you have a -6 and a -6. You have a 1 and a 1. Yes? What do you know about absolute value? There are always how many answers?
Two.
Two answers, right? Unless it's like all real numbers or no solutions, right? So C and D are automatically out, right?
Yeah. I got these.
So we can either graph this or we can store it. What would you like to do? You know what? Forget it then. We're going to store it. Okay? So I'm pretty sure I showed you guys the store function. Yeah? Let's review. Which one do you want to plug in first? Do you want to plug in -6, 1, or you want to plug in -1, 1? Well, since 1 is in both of them, I'm assuming 1 works, right? So which one do you want to plug in, -6 or -1?
-6.
All right, let's do -6. Ready? -6, store it, which is above the on, right? Store for x, and enter. Yeah? And then what you're going to do is, you see how your problem is absolute value of 2x plus 5? Put that in. If this is a solution, when you hit enter, it should equal 7. So math number abs 2x plus 5, right? When I hit enter, if this works, it should give me what? 7. Yes. So this works. Okay? And if if you didn't have the ones to be the same, you could also plug in 1. So 1 store for x, math number abs 2x plus 5, that also gives me 7. So I know that -6 and 1 are solutions. Does that make sense? And if I were to solve this out, you get 1. Okay? All right, so number 6, which represents the graph of this absolute value? Guys, you do it. Plug it in. Find the graph that matches. D2, perfect. All right, so everyone said C. How about number 7?
D.
D?
Yeah.
All right, good. Sabrina, you too? Okay. Okay, so what is the solution set for x squared plus 6x minus 16 equals 0? All right, so guys, now we're at quadratics. Quadratics, whenever you get like an x squared, the easiest thing to do is to graph it, okay? But sometimes when you graph it, you don't get nice, pretty answers, right? Because your solutions are the same as the x-intercepts, right? If they're not pretty, then you may have to factor it, or worst case scenario, do the quadratic formula, right? So if I look at number 1, all of my answer choices actually look pretty good. They're all integers, right? Not fractions, no decimals, no radicals. This is good, right? Put it in the calculator. Let's graph this. So I'm going to put in x squared plus 6x minus 16. And if I graph it, it's like this. Where are my x-intercepts?
At 2.
At 2 and?
-8.
Looks like -8. Okay, let's double check. Go to second graph. Go to -8. Does it have a 0 for the y?
Yep.
Yeah. And then go to 2. It just hit it a much. All right, 2, 0, right? So negative 8 and 2 are the solutions here. Good. So the next one, right? So the next one, they made a mistake in this packet. It's none of these choices. All right, let's treat this as a fill in the blank. All right, and let's figure out how we can do this. Which is a solution set for x squared minus 6x equals 8. All right. Well, you know what? Even if I wanted to graph this, I can't like that. I need to make it equal to what?
0.
0. So subtract the 8. I have x squared minus 6x minus 8, and that equals 0. All right, so first things first, I'm going to graph it and see if it looks nice and has some nice x-intercepts. X squared minus 6x, oops, that's not squared, minus 8. All right, so if I graph it,
You get -1.
looks like -1, right? But that other one doesn't look good. Let me go and check my table. -1. Oh, is it a 0? No. So, you know what this tells me? I can't just graph it. I actually have to do some work here. Okay? Doesn't look like I can factor it either, right? So, that means I need to use the quadratic formula. And remember, you don't have to memorize the quadratic formula because it's on your formula sheet. It's x equals opposite b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Tom, stop fidgeting with your phone stuff. All right. So what is a here?
X squared.
No, what's the number? Just the number in front.
1.
1. What is your b number?
6.
Up.
-6.
-6. And what's your c number?
-8.
-8. Thank you. So now let's plug it into our formula. X equals, what is opposite your b number?
Positive.
Yeah, positive 6 plus or minus the square root of Tom b squared. Make sure you put your b in parentheses. -6 squared minus 4ac all over 2a, all over 2 times 1, right? All I did was just plug in my a, b, and c. And then now what I need to do is all of this right here inside the radical, I'm going to put that in my calculator. Don't put the square root. Just do the stuff inside the square root. What do you get? Abner, put this into the calculator. You are paying attention, but make sure you know what to do. It's like muscle memory. You got to do it too. So what do you get?
You got 68.
Good. Sabrina, did you finish? Okay. What? 6 plus or minus. Inside the square root, you should get 68. Good. All over, what's 2 times 1?
2.
2. So just split up that 2 for each of those terms so that we don't forget, okay?
But do you break the square root in half though?
Not just in half, you just need to break it down, right? Square root of 68, good. Tom said we need to break this down, yes. Okay, so this 68, if we wanted to factor it out, you want to just do it here, going sideways, is that okay? What two numbers multiply to give you 68?
I'm not the top of my head. I think 34 and 32. Yeah, 34 and 2, and then
2 and 34. 2 you can't break down anymore, right? So I'm just going to circle it. What about 34?
34 and 17.
What?
34 and 17.
No.
That's 16 and 2.
2 and 17. Can you break down 17?
Nope.
No. 17 is a prime number, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So how many do you need in a group to come out?
2.
2. So look at that. You have 2 2s. So the 2 comes out. So the 2 comes out. What has to stay in?
17.
17. All right. So I'm going to write all the other stuff around it. 6 over 2 plus or minus that over 2, right? All I did was rewrite the square root of 68, but I brought down all the other stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then now I need to simplify this.
Divided 2.
X equals, what's 6 divided by 2?
3.
3. Plus or minus. Guys, what happens to these two?
They cancel.
They cancel.
Yeah, right? They can be simplified. So then this becomes 1, so square root of 17. There you go. That is your answer. Yes? 3 plus or minus the square root of 17. Here's the thing. If I want to double check and make sure that that is the answer, I can store it. So watch what I'm going to do. So in my calculator, I'm going to put in 3 plus square root of 17. Yeah? Since it's plus or minus, you can't put in both plus and minus, so just put in the 1, okay? Plus. Store it for x. Yes? Okay? So now, you know your original equation, x squared minus 6x equals 8? Yeah? Put in x squared minus 6x. When you hit enter, if this is the solution, it should equal what? Should equal 8. All right, so let's put that in. X squared minus 6x. Hit enter. Moment of truth. Equals 8. So I know that this is a solution. All right?
So it's none of them?
Yes, none of them. I guess they made a mistake, so we're just treating this as a fill in the blank. Okay? All right, so questions about that one. All right. Number 3, which is a solution set for that one? Guys, we can store for this one too. Okay? The thing is, you know how you have I's here?
Yeah.
Yeah? You have 3 answer choices with I's. There's a good chance that your answer has I, right?
Yeah.
So let's try to plug in one of them. Let's guess, and we'll store it. What did you get? What did you get for this problem? You just put A, but what did I just say? There's a chance that your answer has, see, you know what you were doing, you were on your phone. Oh, did it rhyme? Well, Tom's on his phone, focused on all his phone accessories. He didn't even hear what I just said.
B.
B? B? All right, let's plug in B. So Timon and Cindy both say B. So put in negative 1/2 plus, what is that? 1/2 I? 1/2 I. And as long as your mode A plus BI is turned on, your calculator will recognize I's. So store that for X. Yeah? then you're going to put in your original problem, 2x squared plus 2x plus 1. If this is an equation, it should equal what?
0.
0. Moment of truth. Da, 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 da.
0.
0. So you don't even have to check the minus 1, because if the plus 1 works, the minus 1 works. Okay? So B, great job. Good. How about number 4? What are the solutions to this? Listen, you can plug in your answers. Well, you have 2 answers. So just make sure that you do both of them. But you want to try actually solving this one out, because this one's fun. Sum of y plus 3 squared minus 81 equals 0. Yeah? We're trying to solve for y. What do I need to do first?
Give it a 3.
No. Before that.
I give it 81.
Yes, get rid of the negative 81, because you can't start chopping into the parentheses yet, right? So get rid of this 81 by adding 81. And then you have y plus 3 squared equals 81. So, bonus points if you actually use the voice. Oh, I guess this isn't it. Bummer. I need to get rid of that square.
Yes.
Take the root. I thought this was the Arnold Schwarzenegger page to the power. It wasn't.
It wasn't.
That one. I got all hyped up. It wasn't. You got to get rid of the power by taking the root. So square root. But wait a minute. When I draw the square root, I need to put
Plus or minus.
plus or minus. Thank you. And then you get y plus 3 equals plus or minus. What's the square root of 81? 9. So now, in order to solve for that y, I need to subtract the 3. But guys, what happens if I subtract the 3 and there's a plus or minus on the other side? Where does it go? Huh? Well, but where does that minus 3 go? Behind the 9?
No, in front of plus or minus.
In front of the plus or minus, right? So then you have y equals negative 3 plus 9 and negative 3 minus 9. See that? I just broke apart the plus or minus and wrote it out so that I can solve both of these. Negative 3 plus 9, isn't that 6? Negative 3 minus 9, negative 12. So what is your answer? I know, but what letter? What letter?
B.
A, B, C, or D? B. So apparently, number 5 and number 6, they're the same equation, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So number 6, cross out number 6.
The whole thing?
Yeah, cross out number 6. And we're going to do number 5. Okay? I know, in this section. I don't know why. So number 5, this is still the same, right? So I'm just going to cross out my answer choices here. We're going to go with the ones from number 5, okay? You have a quadratic. What did I tell you? What is the first thing you should try with quadratics? Put in your calculator and do what?
The y equals thing.
Yeah.
We ain't doing it yet.
Graph it. Yup. Put in the y equals. Let's graph it. X squared minus 3x minus 4. Yes? Graph it. Take a look at it. Do we have any pretty x-intercepts? I say pretty, meaning non-rational, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So can you confirm that? Can you go to the table and make sure that it is negative 1 and 4? Oh, negative 1, 0. And 4 works too, Sabrina? Perfect. Right? So negative 1 and 4. So what answer choice is that for number 5?
I can barely tell what's like.
Huh?
I think A.
No, no, no. Look at number 5.
Well, it's on number 5. Like right here.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Oh, no, we just crossed out number 6. Number 5 is the one that we're keeping.
oh,
Sorry. So number 5, which one of those works? A, B, C, or D?
oh, B.
B. X equals -1 or X equals 4. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, sorry about that. I don't know what happened with 5 and 6. Number 7. Which graph represents a quadratic equation with no real solutions? This is your key right here. No real. Which one is it? Tom, you focused? Which one is no real? C, why? Good. If it touches the x-axis, right? That's a real number, okay? But if your graph does not touch that x-axis, then it has eyes. It has imaginary, okay? All of these graphs touch the x-axis, except C, okay? All right, so now let's look at rationals. I know that rationals are crazy, right? I know that, it was kind of a struggle when we did these in Unit 6, right? Since we're just SOL reviewing, I will show you guys how to do these algebraically, all right, if you like. But I'm also going to show you some calculator tricks too, okay? Because the thing is, you guys have already learned this, and now we're just going to see if we can find some ways to make our lives a little bit easier, right? Come up with some little helpful hints. So look at number 1. What is the solution to this? Okay? All right. Here's the thing. Store it. All right? I would use the store function, especially if you get a multiple choice, right? X over 2x plus 1 equals what? Equals what? Huh? No, equals what? We're just reading the problem. All this on the left equals what? 4/3, right? So x over, 2x plus 1 has more than one term, so that has to go in parentheses, okay? One of these answers, when it goes in for these x's, when you hit enter, it should give you 4/3. That's what it's saying, right?
Yeah.
So let's plug in. Let's use the store function here. Yeah. So which one do you want to plug in? A, B, C, or D? Hmm? B? Okay. So B is 5. So let's do 5 store for x. Oh no, not 55. 5 store for x. Oh no. There we go. Okay? And then I'm going to put in x divided by parentheses. Yes, 2x plus 1. The thing about these rationals, if you have more than one term on the bottom or on the top, you got to put it in parentheses. When I hit enter, I get this decimal. Well, let's see. Math enter, enter. 5/11. It's not 4/3. Right?
Yeah.
So B is out. Right? Which one should we plug in next? C? Let's plug in C. So -4/5 store it for x. Yeah? And then let's plug in our answer, our question, x over 2x plus 1. Hit enter. Math enter, enter. Perfect. Thank you. Right? So this one is C. Yes? All right, and that, that was nice because we only had the variable on one side of the equation. If you look at number 2, right? Because what? Here you had an x and you had an x, but they were all on this side of the equal sign. Does that make sense? For number 2, you have a q here, oh my goodness, and you have a q there, right? Here's the equals. So, in this case, you need to store and plug it in on the left. See if it equals on the right. Does that make sense? So you gotta store and you have to put in each side of the equal sign. Okay? Alright, Tom, sharpen your pencil. Which one do you guys want to plug in? Which one should we store? A, B, C, or D?
B.
Huh?
B.
B? Okay, let's plug in B. Q equals -6. So, remember, first time we plug in, we're going to plug in 7x minus 9 in parentheses divided by 6. Hit enter. We're going to see if that is the same as parentheses 6x plus 2 divided by 4. Does that make sense? Alright, so plug in, was it -6? -6 store for x. Plug in the left-hand side. 7x minus 9 divided by 6. -8.5. Sure. Let's plug in the right-hand side. 6x plus 2 divided by 4. Good. Right? Don't they equal each other? Left-hand side, right-hand side? And they should, because equals, right? So B works. Did you know that was going to work?
Yeah.
Huh? Over there. No. Good job. I mean, and the thing is, I want you guys to use the store function because a lot of you guys are really good on the calculator, right? And that is a resource, so use it. All right, so then let's try this one. After you store it, see, you see that? You have an x on the left side, and you have an x, or 2x's on the left side, and 2x's on the right side. Yes? So, store, and then let's plug in all that, right? What are you guys going to plug in first? What should we store first? You do it. If you did not already do, tell me which one you stored. A and B. Okay, so let's store in A. So 6, right? So I'm going to say 6 store for x, right? Okay, so on the left-hand side of this equation, I have 3x squared minus 2 all over x, right? Parentheses 3x squared minus 2 all over x. Yes? So left-hand side, I get 17.66666, whatever. That's fine. Look on the right-hand side. I'm going to plug in the right-hand side, 6x minus 2 divided by x. Did you use parentheses too? Good. All right. These don't equal each other, right? So that means 6 is not a solution. Okay? If it doesn't work, it's out. All right? So now, let's try, you said you tried B as well. B didn't work. You got 5 for each one. Well, then that one must work. Because they equal each other, right? Okay, so 2 store for x. Okay, let's do a little shortcut so I can get, there we go, left-hand side. Right-hand side, good. You see how they equal each other? So that means B works, okay? All right, so look at number 4. So number 4 is a little bit weird. Tom, you okay? Here's your equal sign for number 4. This one is weird because you have two fractions adding on the left-hand side. And it has to equal what?
9.
9. So you have to put all of this into the calculator. Well, let's figure this out. You have 4y minus 30 over 3 plus 6y plus 8 over 2, right? Remember I told you guys fractions need parentheses?
Yeah.
So this fraction gets parentheses. This fraction gets parentheses. Okay? And you have more than one term, so those get parentheses. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
It's really kind of weird putting this into the calculator. But you have to do it this way. Okay? Just so we don't have any mess ups. But you can still store it the same way. Alright? So if we want to store, which one? A, B, C, or D? Which one do you want to store?
B.
B?
Yeah.
Alright, so B is 45 over 13. So 45 divided by 13. Let's store that for X. Okay? Oh. Oops. Keep pushing that, don't I? Store for X. Okay? Yeah? And then let's plug this in. I'll scoot this over so we can see all the parentheses. Alright? So this is red, green, 4x minus 30, green, divided by 3, red. Does that make sense? Yeah? Plus red, green, 6x plus 8, green, divided by 2, red. Yes? That's the whole entire left side. When I hit enter, if this gives me 9, then I know this works. Perfect. Did you do that? Good. All right. I thought that one would be a hard one to put in. Great.
He said normally punching the wrong numbers and start all over again, bro.
Yeah, good. Listen, the store function, I mean, that's a game changer. All right, so how about this? So this one, you don't have anything that you can plug in. So you actually have to do it. It's fine, we can do this. X plus 25 over x equals 10. All over 1, all over 1. Yeah? So this is a rational equation. You need to find the LCD. LCD, fraction 1, 2, and 3, right? Fraction 1, what's in the denominator? 1. Fraction 2, what's in the denominator? And fraction 3. Good. What do they have in common? Yeah, 1. What else is there? X. So the LCD is X. All of these want to look like X on the bottom. So what does the first fraction need? X. You multiply the bottom by X, you multiply the top by X. What does the second one need? Doesn't need anything. No? Alright, just leave it. Third one, what does the third one need? X. So multiply the bottom, you multiply the top. So after you do that, you just cross out the bottom. X times x is x squared plus 25 equals 10x. Yeah? Now look at this. This is an AM situation. Subtract that 10x and turn it into an AM trinomial. We can factor this or we can graph it. What do you want to do? You want to graph it or factor it? You want to factor? All right. AM. Two numbers that multiply to give me a positive 25, but adds to give me negative 10. What are they? multiplies to give me 25, adds to give me negative 10.
5 times negative 5.
Good. Negative 5 and negative 5. So since this is just a plain old x squared, I could go straight into my double parentheses. Do x minus 5, x minus 5. If you do your mini equations, what do you get? X minus 5 equals 0. X minus 5 equals 0. So x equals what? 5. For both of them, right? So since they're both x equals 5, you just have to write it one time. So x equals 5. And when you actually put this in the box for the SOLs, you don't need to put x equals, you can just put 5.
Okay.
Alright? Good. Alright, so what is the solution set? Alright, so we have radicals. We could actually solve these out, right? Or you could do the same thing. Use the store function, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but for this, let's practice this. If I were to solve this out, square root of x minus 4 equals 5. How do you get, we're solving for the x. How do you get rid of the square root? Take it to the power, right? Square it. Oh, you didn't do the boys. X minus 4 equals 5 squared, which is 25. It doesn't matter, it just makes it more fun. Take it to the power. So it's 29. Okay? I should write to his management and just be like, could you just videotape, like just tape record him saying that so I could use it. Alright, look at the next one. So, are you guys okay with the store function? Yeah? Alright, so then let's solve these out. 1/4 square root of 9 plus x equals 1. What do I need to move first? Huh? The 1/4. How do you move this fraction that's multiplying? You have to multiply by the reciprocal. So multiply by 4. So then you have square root of 9 plus x equals 4. How do you get rid of the square root?
Square.
Yes. Square it. You're right. Guys want to be party poopers. You don't want to take it to the power. Alright. 9 plus x equals 16 then, right? So then what? Huh? It's a what? Goodbye! Subtract.
It's 7. It's only 6.
Good, so x equals 7. There we go. Alright. Don't let it mess you up that there's another one that has a negative 7, 7. If you stored a negative 7 into that, it wouldn't work. Alright? So if you did negative 7 store for x, and you plug that guy in, 1/4 square root 9 plus x, close that up, hit enter, does it give me 1?
No.
No, so that one does not work. Alright, what is the solution set for this guy? I love these. I think these are so fun to solve. Square root of 3y plus 4 equals 5. What do I need to do first? Thank you. Subtract the 4. And then I have square root of 3y equals 1. Now what? Now what? Now what? 3y equals 1 divided by 3, so y equals
Third.
1/3.
Which is still eating.
Is that weird?
Just
Is it? Alright, look at this one. So, this one's actually, I mean, it's pretty fun. This one, I would suggest that you store it just so you don't mess up. Okay? And remember, the left side has to equal the right side. But if we were to actually do this, square root of x plus 16 equals 3 root x. Guys, you have a square root on both sides, right? So the only thing you can do here is, you know what? Get rid of the square root. How do you get rid of the square root?
Rooted.
Square it, right?
Yeah.
Square it. Then the other side you square it. Yeah?
Yeah.
So then this goes away, and then you have x plus 16 equals, well, this guy is really 3 root x times 3 root x, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's 3 times 3?
nine.
What's square root of x times the square root of x?
That's why.
So it would be square root of x times x. That's x squared, right?
Yeah.
But what happens when you have two of the same thing inside the square root?
One comes out.
Yeah. Right? So this is really x. Yeah, right? Isn't that pretty good? So minus the x, get your x's together, and you have 16 equals 8x. Now what? Now what?
You divide.
Yeah, divide by 8. So x equals 16 divided by 8, 2. Good. So C. Alright? So I don't want to run out of time. We're going to stop here. We will go over the rest. If you did not finish everything, please make sure you have everything finished for next time.